Oh, hi. Haven't noticed you here. Welcome to very late Friday live stream. We spent 20 minutes talking with you. You haven't heard anything, me neither. But that thing apparently doesn't work. Hello.
I don't know whether you're broadcasting. Someone's just rung up and said there's lots of people in the chat, but they don't know whether it's coming through.
Yes, I am talking now. Just literally like a second ago I've started. Let me know how is the sound. First of all, I want to make sure that you can hear me because that thing is going to the bin. I can tell you that. I don't see any comments, but let me see if the comments are starting to come through. William, yes, someone just knocked the door. Like I've started to do the live stream, and someone knocked the door to tell me. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Friday live stream. I am going to spend time with you then today. I owe you some. Hope everyone is well. It's wet in London. It's wet everywhere in UK. Except somewhere it was sunny, I've read that. But if you're in the United States and you got hit by hurricane, I hope you're safe. I hope your relatives are safe as well. So but we got people from all over the world here as usual. So we got Andy, McLean, John, Rigetti, David, Christopher, Raimo, Jakov from Slovakia, all the higher angler, Colin, Michael Reed, Robert M., John Hughes, Terry, Ian, all those questions that you've asked me while I was trying to set up the thing, I'm going to answer. We're going to go through the beginning of the chat, I promise you that. But if you're looking at this video after the fact, then you didn't miss those 20 minutes where I was trying to troubleshoot the thing. And here you have, folks, photography. Here's the lessons we've learned. It's about troubleshooting, yes? So don't try to set up a connection believing everything's going to work in the last 10 minutes before the live stream. Come in an hour before, make sure it works. I haven't been here for a week. I've live streamed from home, and in 2 weeks, somehow, that thing stopped working. So I am streaming through Wi-Fi right now. I'm streaming through OBS. I had to basically repurpose the camera and the audio sources to the computer. So everything's plugged into the computer instead of the fancy devices that should work when they should, you know. So it could be choppy, it could be not, but hopefully you can hear me okay. Hopefully the audio level is not too high because I can lower it if it's a little bit hot on the ears. But let's move on. And another thing of doing live streams is you have to know how to work under the stress. And Grace of the live streams taught me one thing, that everything can happen anytime. Expect betrayal from your equipment any second, really, and from your internet connection. So we're going to move on. Let's have a coffee because it's the time to have a coffee. I haven't had coffee yet today. We've been really, really busy. I want to talk to you about the news that came out recently. Not much of a Nikon news, really. We had the Z6 III firmware update, so there's some fixes in there, nothing major is what I can see. Tamron 90mm micro has been announced for Z mounts, so that's exciting. And then there's a little flash that's been released by Godox, and we're going to talk about Leica Q3 M43. So you choose what you want to start with, and in the meantime, I'm going to go through the chart. Let's see, we can hear me fine, all working, so that's good news. I want to thank David Liu. Thanks so much. He says Koffee fund is open. That's what I say. And he says towards a separate one dedicated 5G hotspot or Koffee. I'll start with Koffee. It's not a connection this time, I'm afraid, but I am streaming through Wi-Fi. Let's see what happened. Hello, David the Drunk One Photographer. Good to hear from you as well. Thank you, Randall, as well. He says, quick grab back his laptop on to get things going. Yeah, she's a few hours drive away, so it wouldn't be that quick. But yes, she's saying hello, by the way, to everyone. We've filmed two reviews last week. We filmed the 50 to 400 Tamron review on Saturday, as well as a new TT Artisan 75 f2 lens. So that's that. Someone asked me in the comments, did we actually reviewed Z6 Mark III? Yes, we did. The video came out on Tuesday or Wednesday this week. So a few days ago. Go check it out. See what we say about it. Yeah, so that's that. I think for next week we have Void Lens 75 f1.5 lens review scheduled. So that's that, and hopefully the other ones are going to be ready. 35 1.4 is in the works. Maybe not next week, but the following week we'll have it ready as well for you. Let's look at the questions. So John Hughes saying that his Z9 is really good. That's good. 6 shots out of thousands. That's a pretty good hit rate. They're good cameras, aren't they? So that's the thing. That's for sure. Let's see. Let's look at the questions. I'm just going to quickly scroll through right from the beginning of the chat because we do forget those. So yeah, Ian, have a look at the Z6 III review. It is better than Z6 II. The main thing really is also focus. I think that's for stills photographers. That's what's the most important. But there's a lot of improvements under the hood. It's overall snappy camera. It's better to hold as well. And it's basically, if you're looking at a sports camera on the budget from Nikon, and obviously, £2,500, it's not exactly a budget camera, but it's cheaper than Z8, let's say, or or Z9. So that's that. Someone put a weird comment under this video. It says, I was looking to buy Z6 III to complement my Z8. And he said, I didn't buy it because ISO performance was so poor. And I am a bit puzzled by that. I haven't seen Z6 III low light performance to be bad at all. I think it's really good. It's fantastic. So I'm not sure what this person is coming from, where this person is coming from, but it was a weird comment. I was a bit puzzled by that. Christopher Clark is asking me, how do you think with Adobe AI and Lightroom and Photoshop to do blurry the photos? Do you think there will still be a need for 1.4, 1.2 lens when we can blur the background in the post? Christopher, did you see this blur? And do you think it's reasonable? I don't find it very good. They're improving all the time. But optical blur, I will take optical blur any day over artificial blur. They're definitely getting better, that's for sure. I still prefer to get things right in the camera. That's kind of my point is. So I think it's going to take some time. But who knows? Who knows? Give it 10 years. You never know. Just look at how quickly AI became a thing. We talked about it 10 years ago, and I was like, oh, it's not there, it's not there. 5 years ago, oh, yeah, it's there's some mind journey and stuff like this, and it's there. But now we have, with the ChatGPT, basically, I'm surprised how much people use ChatGPT nowadays. It just became part of the norm. It's been built in all sorts of applications. Your Google search now gives you some sort of AI chatbot generation of content and things like this. It became a norm. That's the thing. So who knows? That's the thing. Optical AI, I can tell you that I use a lot. So it used to be a clone and stamp tool, right, in Photoshop and Lightroom. Now I just scan a lot of negatives, and obviously for color negatives, IC normally cleans that up. But for black and white negatives, there's a lot of dust to clean. And now I used to use Clamp or Healing Tool, but actually AI Eraser, that's what I use nowadays. And it's a very good tool, for that, for just cleaning the spots and things like this. So, they're getting better and better. So who knows? In 5 years, or maybe even faster than that, maybe you'll start to say, well, even 24 to 50 can give you 1.2 blur, something like this. Here we go. David Liu is asking me, if you start a coffee shop, will you call it Cafe No? Cafe No, who knows? Who knows? Let me try this coffee. It's a bit nutty, isn't it? So I don't know. About 7-8 years ago, I was really into coffee, and I was looking into potentially opening a coffee shop, and I was kind of building a business plan and looking at the expenses and, doing all sorts of courses. I went to roastery courses, things like this, I have a barista experience from my past days when I used to work in the restaurants back in the day. So, barista, barman, you name it. I've done it all. Yeah, that was a good time, and I didn't think of the name. I didn't go that far to think of name, but Cafe No, I think, or Coffee with Con, I think, that's it's probably good, can be the name of my coffee shop. We're gonna serve it from the same jugs as on the cover of that video. Yeah. So, good morning from Paraguay. Hello, Juan. Good to see you. Okay, now we are getting there. I'm still going through where I'm writing you that I have connection problems, so we're gonna go through the 50p for the meter. Yes. In my early days living in London, I used to live in a place where the gas was on a prepaid card. It's just what's called it. Don't trust your flatmates. I have tried to turn it on and off again. Yes, I've done that. I did call IT Crowd tech support. I can tell you that. We might get a 5G connection, but to be honest with you, in this case, it's actually a streaming thing failure. It's actually the 80 Mini, the streaming deck, that's failed on me. What's interesting actually was it couldn't connect to the YouTube. So there's when you connect to the YouTube, there's a stream key and there's a stream website. Everything was lining up. I can see that Atom was using the data, but it couldn't connect to YouTube. So don't know what that is, but I guess we're gonna troubleshoot. So you see, you leave for a week, you do a live stream from home, and you come back and just nothing is working as it used to. So that's the thing. So I'm gonna spend probably the rest of the day trying to fix that for the next live stream, and hopefully it works. So that's the thing. All right. Let's see. Day walk is in Mallorca. Nice. Enjoy your holiday. Hopefully it's a lot sunnier there than what we have here right now. As Nigel Sutton points out, we probably need a Nikon here right now. So to go through all that rain. Con is here, Alan. I've arrived. Let's see. I think that's it. We kind of get in there it's halfway through the chart. So let's see. Have you updated your Z6 Mark III to latest firmware? Any improvements so far apart of what's listed? They fixed the following issues. This is your Nikon report live. First issue: the camera would fail to record videos correctly on some CF Express memory cards. So, AKA improved CF Express memory card support. Second issue, fixed uploading pictures via Ethernet would fail with an error. How many of you have uploaded the pictures via Ethernet? So that's probably those 5 people got affected, but it's fixed now. So we're gonna see. I want to see some. I don't know. Again, we talked about ZF improvements, where they can improve that camera. So what would you like to see in terms of firmware improvements in your Z6 Mark III if you've got one? Speaking of Z6 Mark III, the promotion on Nikon lens and the cameras have finished. So Z6 III wasn't there. That's finished on Monday. But in the shop, we run £50 off all Z6 variants. So if you want to get a little discount, you can give a call to shop. And if you email a subscriber, you should receive that code in the email. So you can check out online as well. All right. So let's see. Becky should be back. Yes, I agree. However, it's not up to us, if you see what I mean. That's the thing. And yes, so that's where it is. Sometimes the things we want, they can't happen, and that's life. And life is not fair. But Becky says hello to everyone. That's the thing. And we're going to see each other once a month or something like this. So if I don't know what to say, if you want to see Becky and Becky's not back, I can't help you with that. But hopefully you enjoy what I have to say. And it's always a pleasure to have you. That's all I can say. All right, so I am still setting up, so that's good. London calling, yes, we are here. I have phone grays, yes, we will be here. Sounds is good. Okay, we're back. We're back to the live stream. Chris Clark says, everything digital you touch breaks. That's why you only use film con. Yes. Yes. I normally tell it to my wife because, yeah, she always calls me for some computer troubleshooting. I can tell you that. As you saw last week, when I do things by myself in a controlled environment of my home, things work. That's all I can say to you. When you work in a public place, unfortunately, when I have to, I'm not a YouTuber, if you see what I mean. So sometimes I have to show up 5 minutes before the live stream. Sometimes I have more time. But if someone pulled a cable or something like this, and I don't know about it, unfortunately, sometimes I don't have time. I don't have a tech support here, if you see what I mean. It's all kind of done, like on the fumes, on enthusiasm, if you see what I mean. So that's what it is. So yeah, I'm sorry we've been late, but I appreciate you being here. So that's all I can say. All right. So let's see. That's a good question, David. I don't know. I'm going to check with Becky. Thank you, team. Wi-Fi is working, he says. Being flexible is foundation of IT. And problem solving, isn't it? The problem solving is important. That's what, I could be pulling my hair out, but what I've started to do is basically, okay, let's troubleshoot. So, rechecked all the cables. Everything worked. Restarted things 20 times. Didn't work. Okay, what do we have? OBS on my computer. Let's set it up. Set up OBS. We need to now connect the camera that was connected to the streaming to the computer. We need to connect different audio recorder that is here to the computer and let them talk to each other. So that's what troubleshooting was. But now let's talk about photography. I need to get whiskey to get through the day. Well, weekend is coming. There's going to be a football game. Crystal Palace plays Everton. It always goes bad for us, so I will drown my sorrows in some Coca-Cola, I guess. Dave Stoll says, need to cancel my cards before I hit pre-order on the Q3 III. Yeah, tell me. Obviously, Leica Q has been around for some time, yeah? Only with 28mm. And now we have 43. And obviously, the 43, what kind of Leica says, anything between 40 and 50 is basically the way we see the world, yeah, which is a lot of people enjoy, and that's why I have 40mm on my FM3A. My thing about Leica is I feel like I could do better by buying, let's say, a digital M and buying a lens, a 40mm lens to go with it. That's where the whole kind of Q3 puzzle to me. I like the camera; they're great cameras. It's just the price point. Again, I'm not in the right, I think, price point for this. I'm not the high earner. But that's the thing. Like, I like Leica equipment. I think the Q series is lost on me, but I know that a lot of people love it. But was it? I think it's £5,900 in UK, if I'm not mistaken. It's a lot of money for point-and-shoot camera. That's the thing. And obviously, yes, like M11, yes, so it's cost more than that. But if you look at the prices of used M10s or even M10Rs, that could be a good option. That's the thing. But again, lovely cameras. As I say, like I love how Hasselblads look as well. It's I think they're great cameras. Just can't do much. It's a bit expensive. Yes, Ian. Fantastic. Z8 needs a GPS. That's not the firmware update. But yes, there's some 10-pin GPS options available. Nikon used to make one. I think it's discontinued a long time ago. What's that comment was? I've missed that. Let's have a look. Nigel likes his Z6 II. I think it's, again, like, as long as kind of autofocus is not the issue, Z6 II is a great camera. That's the thing. And autofocus is very confident with this camera. It's just not as fast as a new generation of cameras, but overall it's a great camera and it nails focus really well. That's the thing. So again, improvement over Z6 Mark I version as well. Good morning, Len. Good afternoon and good evening. Okay, post blur is always noticeable. Yes. So Champagne Summer says Z6 III is great for all around general purpose, but I do not use it for video. Why are you not using it for video, Champagne Summer? Do you have any other camera? Because the video on that camera is supposed to be really good. So it's 6K, you got all the RAW and RAW, you know, if you want to. So you got all the, you know, red LUTs available to you. So why is the reason? Or you just don't shoot video? That's the question. So Daywalk says, I'm thinking about the Z6 III, but my original Z6 works fine, and I have Z8 as well, so I don't really think I need to at the moment. That's the thing. I agree with you. It's like I'm thinking about getting a Z8 for myself. We kind of have one that we share between me and Becky, but I'm thinking like, oh, maybe I should get one for me, you know, so just kind of have it, and then ZF is a fun camera, and I can have it for the other fun things. But then I'm like, no, we have access to Z8 already, so, you know, and it does the job, obviously. I don't need to upgrade to another Z8, if you see what I mean. So, yeah, as long as it works for you, and as you say, especially as a second camera, I don't think that as a second camera you need to have the latest and greatest. You know, you already have Z8, Z6 will do as a backup, I think. Randall is saying Z6 II and Z5 are great in my studio for my content and when I am on the live stream. Agree? They're perfect cameras. I am streaming now with a Z6 II. Here we have it. So, you know, and again, at the moment, it's USB cable plugged into the laptop directly. Normally, when I stream with a Blackmagic, it would be mini HDMI from Z6 to HDMI port on Blackmagic ATEM device. Andy loves his D850. D850 is a great camera, Andy. There's a lot to love in this camera, absolutely. Paul Bosca Photography says, good morning, first time joining live from Great Lakes State. Well, thanks for joining us, Paul, live. Sorry for a 20-minute wait, but good to see you here. Tim Herring says, so the camera manufacturers won't have to fix oil spatter on the sensor and just AI erase them in camera. That could do. I mean, I can see that a lot of AI features, you know, will be implemented in cameras. And technically, your phone does a lot of AI features, so I don't see why mirrorless cameras can't do the same thing. We just need to have an on and off switch. So if you don't want to have it, you can turn it off. I don't want it to be done by default, and then you have to go through some sort of hoops to actually get it turned off, like a service menu with a password or something like this. So I hope it's all kind of open in space and we can do it. But the good news is no shutter, no mechanical shutter, no oil spots. I can tell you that. But to be honest with you, oil on shutter blades, I can tell you that the cameras that were really prone to this, I mean, it's been many, many moons ago. D7000 is probably the worst camera for oil shutter. I don't know what oil they use there, olive oil or whatever, you know, but every time I had to sense clean D7000 for the shop, it was covered in oil. That's the thing. D3s, D3Ss, I think some D4s and D4Ss were quite common, but those shoot at very high frame rate. So some oil every now and then is expected, I guess. I haven't seen many on D5 and D6s, and I haven't really seen any oil spatter on any mirrorless Nikon cameras. That's from personal experience, and I've since cleaned them all. I can tell you that. Probably from D1 to Z9. You know, I can tell you that. Here we go. Okay, there's GPS discussion. There's a lot for D850s and D780s. Brilliant cameras. You know, I support you, DSLR shooters. You know, you are having bargains over lifetime. You can get fantastic lenses at a bargain bin prices. That's what I think. Again, discussion of GPS. Well, yeah. I see the point. I think the GPS discussion has to be addressed among all manufacturers, not just Nikon, personally. Because it's not common, as simple on all cameras. But yeah, we have the discussion. We do have the discussion every, let's say, 2 months or something like this. Yes, and there's a use for this, and there's no use for this, and obviously there's a snap bridge that can send the GPS data. I know that's just not working around for a lot of people. So I guess there's a use, and I personally think that's, yeah, I think, at least install it in the top premium cameras for sure, as you charge in premium for it. But yes, if every manufacturer would decide to install GPS, we would see GPS in all cameras, including, let's say, the bottom kind of the lineup, like something like Z30 or something like this. Nigel Stassen still waiting for pixel shift and pre-capture raw film update for my Z9. That's yeah. I think that's if it's possible on Z8, I don't see the problem with it to be on Z9. So I think it's going to come in at some point. Let's go further. Thank you, team. I appreciate it. As I say, if it would be up to me and Becky would have this live stream, but I've decided to carry the torch. It's just me, unfortunately. It is what it is. But yes, if Becky would be here every week, I would be the happiest person in the world. I can tell you this. Above you all, that's the thing. Because it's fun to do it together. I can tell you that as well. And I know you enjoy that when we're having chats. ATH скажет, when there's a new version of Nikon Z9 with red sensor. Not this year, I can tell you that much. Let's see. Hey Seth, how are you? Long time. Is it the time of the year where you decide to come to London and say hello? And if that's a yes, then I'll see you in a few weeks. I don't need another lens. Again, the user with the best name. Let's see. All right. I'm not going to read that. It's too complicated. But good comment, regardless. Russell says, I had the CF Express card brand on both of my Z6 IIIs, but found other worked better. So I don't know if there's a firmware update to fix this. Thanks for the info. Well, they have the approved memory cards, at least on their website. It doesn't mean that the rest won't work, but some of them will work better. Some of them, will work worse. So that's the thing. So it's worth trying at least. See what happens. Enjoy the pool, Dave. Have a swim, have a suntan. Enjoy your holidays for all of us. It's good to take breaks every now and then. Seth, I need to hire you basically to to move me to Adorama Studio and do live streams from there. But yeah, we have one camera, one microphone, and one person. That's what we do. All right. Thank you, Kirill. I appreciate it. He says, I'd love to see highlight clipping Blinkies on Z cameras. Any rumors if Nikon are going to bring this feature in the new update? Good question. I thought they had highlight Blinkies on all the cameras. Now I'm puzzled. Anyone in the chat who have a Z camera right in front of me, I only work in the camera shop, but I can't run downstairs and grab one. But I thought we have the Blinkies everywhere. And I'll use the word Blinkies for the rest of this live stream and probably the rest of this year. Thank you, Kirill. Appreciate it. Seth says, the Q series is very nice. This one is so sleek. So, Seth, do you reckon, would you buy like a Q or would you like a Leica M with a 40mm lens? Let's talk about that. What do you think? Peter Johnson says, crazy talk, 10K for point and shoot. Exactly. That's my thinking. Love Leica's 2 bits, but I think if you want Leica, personally, I would buy digital M and 40mm prime or 28mm prime, depending on what you need, or both of them. And if you buy a White Lander, you can buy like 5 or 6 lenses for the price of one Leica lens. Here you have it. All right. So Robert White says, hello again from Portugal. Always enjoy your chats. Enjoying more and more AI and AIS lenses. Enjoy more and more AI. Yeah, I don't want to enjoy AI as much as I want, but AIS lenses are fantastic. Yes, I agree with you. Beautiful lenses. And that's why I should film. Okay. David Liu, never got along with Leica's, ergo I'm too used to finger grips. That's the thing. I don't want to. It's not a kind of a bash and negative response against Leica. As I say, like I'm just not their price bracket. I'm not high on or whatever, But I do love their rangefinders, and I think they make fantastic lenses. That's the thing. It's just certain things. I'm going to look at and I'm just going to say, well, it's really not for me. I'm not saying that it's they obviously have a market for it. The 28mm Q is not for everyone. You got to love 28mm lens. And I know that like some people prefer 35 over 28, So obviously, if that's the camera for you, go buy it. I'm sure that image quality is going to be fantastic and the build quality is going to be fantastic and ergonomics are going to be amazing. But I am trying to see, like it's a point-and-shoot camera. That's the thing. And again, that brings me to the point of where is Nikon with their point-and-shoot? Released point-and-shoot with 40mm or 28mm, priced at 2.5. Again, some of you is going to say it's a crazy talk, but some of the Leica people are going to look at it and say, oh, it's 2.5. Well, it's not bad. I mean, the Q series is $5,000 or, $6K or something. And that's where I think Nikon should look into that. Obviously, again, it's not a mass market product, but that's my thinking about it, Who knows? I mean, there's obviously a massive cult around X100V or the 6 version that came out, which is still out of stock everywhere. Paul Bosca is asking what lens would be best on my ZF to emulate the Q3 look. Wide lens 35 f2 Apple. Well, they do 40 f2, which is cheap and cheerful, 270 pounds. That is a good lens. That gives you 40mm focal distance. You want to go fancier? Wide lenses are fantastic. 41.2 is absolutely amazing. Lots of character, anything up to 2.8. And then up to 2.8 to, let's say, f11, f16, it becomes a normal lens. Looks amazing on Nikon ZF as well. It's not too big. It's kind of nice, short and stubby. So overall, I think I would recommend those ones. I still haven't bought my 40, but I do want wide lens though. It's, 40 Nikon one is amazing for the price especially. But that wide lens has got this special sauce, but it's more expensive as well. So that's the thing, not for everyone. Andy's asking, when is Gray coming to the show to tell us more about Nikon history? He's coming probably sometime in October. That's the thing. He's definitely eager to do that. We had a discussion. He's just taking a break, doing some other things at the moment. So Nikon On magazine doesn't write itself. They obviously spend a lot of time on doing that as well. So Seth is probably, he says he's more of a Q guy or more an SL type guy. So again, Seth, good questions. We're going to talk, I probably should have you in person. We talk about this. And I'm going to be coming from the Nikon guy position or, But why would you buy a SL over anything Nikon? Again, why? Why would you? Z8 is a better proposition than any SL cameras. And at much better price. Nikon lenses are superb. Again, obviously their lens available for L mounts, that's for sure. But I just don't see the value proposition from SL myself. They used to make this what's medium format one, didn't they? I forgot the name. That was an interesting camera though. But yeah, I want to hear your opinion, Seth. Let me know in the comments, and then we continue that chat. Okay, so I don't need another lens clarify. So Blinkies is not live view, but after the photo has been taken. Okay, yeah, that's the photo's been taken. Yeah, so those Blinkies were everywhere. Yeah, but during the live view, no, I think you can have the zebras and all that. So that's effectively your Blinkies. So it will tell you if you see the little zebra thing for video work, that means that area is overexposed. So that could be that. I think they can potentially via firmware update transfer it into stills photography, and instead of calling them whatever zebras or something, they call them Blinkies. So for us photographers would be probably much easier to understand. I want a T-shirt that says Blinkies on it. So thank you, Kirill, for this. I appreciate it. It's the word of the day today. Let's go further. There's 1424 being recommended. Okay. Nigel Sad says, I have Blinkies on my Z9, Z6 II. Also had on the 800. Always use Blinkies to review the shots. Yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, okay, let me come back to Kirill's comment. So I would love to see highlight clipping Blinkies on Z cameras. So yeah, they are for stills, but I guess, Kirill, you meant maybe for the live view mode. So it's live Blinkies, you know. Yeah, so that would be those zebras things for the video, I guess. Okay, let's see more of your comments. I'm catching up, so apologies, I'm running late a little bit. Let's see if I missed anything. Colin Murphy says D600 oil, yes, that's another offender, but also dust there, so that's why they had those things there. The recall, as I remember. That was bad time for Nikon in terms of recalls. The D600 kind of taught them the way not to wait till the internet explodes, but actually to come out first and say, well, we're going to issue recall because some things we got aware of, you know, and then they handled their recalls later on a lot more hands-on, I would say, not after the fact, where there's thousands of angry posts online. So I think they definitely learned the lesson from that. Let's go further. Terry said, never had a problem with D7000, still use it, although it's as much as D750 and Z50. Yeah, Terry, just telling you from my experience, because I probably cleaned about 100 of D7000 since cleaned. And probably 95 of them had oil on them, so that's the thing. So when I say D7000 coming in, I just close my eyes, yeah, just know that this sensor clean is going to take me at least half an hour to do, you know, instead of maybe 5 minutes. So just because you have to remove the oil first and then you do the another path with the actual chemical. So yeah, that's that. Let's see. Let's go further. This question from John Hughes. Does the Z6 III have a sensor shell like Z8, Z9? Just to look it up. Z6 III doesn't have a sensor guard or sensor shield. They don't, unfortunately. So it's only kind of reserved for Z8 and Z9. I don't know if it's a space issue or something, but would be cool to have. Can I demo shutter clean? No, unfortunately not. It would be very difficult to stop the camera, so actually you will see how the sensor is being cleaned. I would recommend everyone for someone to show them how to sensor clean their camera, so they can do it with someone who can hold their hand, make sure they won't mess everything up. So try maybe to clean a camera that doesn't have as high value as, let's say, your Nikon ZF. If you got any D70 lying around, try to do that. Sensor cleans are not difficult. It's just the first time, as with everything. If you've never done anything before, you know, you want to make sure that maybe, you know, especially with something like this, you want to make sure that maybe someone can explain it to you and show it to you, you know, or you can do it together with them. But yeah, just logistics of showing it on the camera, how to do sensor clean. There are videos online, so have a look at that for sure. But it's just, we have one camera. I don't have multi-camera set up here. I would need a person to actually who can control those cameras as well. That's just, yeah, that's impossible. No one wants to work with me. No, we just don't have enough people to do that. We don't have a YouTube crew or marketing crew, if you see what I mean. No London this year. Oh, that's a shame, Seth. I thought you were coming this year. All right, well, it means that I have to come to New York. That's what it is. That's what it is. And we're going to have some pastrami sandwiches or something. Yeah. Thank you, all the high angler. I appreciate it. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. So we've discussed all this. Let's go. I'm still catching up with your comments. Let's see. Sorry, Kirill. No, I thought you put a comment and I didn't see it. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So Kirill is answering me here. So they only have Blinkies on reviewed images, not in live view. It would be very helpful exposing to the light. Not sure why other cameras have it and my Nikon Zs don't. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, like well, that's the thing. The zebras for video, I think, like they already have it for video work. So why not to have it for stills photography? So I think they can do it. I think it's definitely a software thing, so they can definitely implement this. Let's see. So Leica comments here. So says also a lot of Leica people buying big ones and then trading with higher value for their next. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I'm not big on that. I genuinely try to keep my cameras unless there's a good deal to be had. Like when you upgrade to your GFX 100S, I think. No, I had GFX 100S, the S2 or GFX 102. You had a good deal for your S. I didn't get a good deal for my 100S, and it just didn't justify me to pay, almost what I paid for my S to get the GFX 102. So yeah, with Leicas it's probably a bit different. I agree, because Leicas tend to keep their value a bit longer. That is true. I see your point, but yeah, to get on that ladder is a bit tricky. But as I say, like I'm really like the M10R series cameras. I think they do really well. Obviously M11 is known for quite a few issues like freezing up and things like this. But again, at the end of the day, I think their film Leicas are probably the best Leicas, in my opinion. They still make Leica MA, they still make Leica MP, they have M6 out, and I think they're beautifully made objects, absolutely. But yeah. Let's see. 100-400 versus 400 4.5 at the long end. Is the prime much sharper than the zoom? That's the question from Diogo Aguar. 400 4.5 is a better lens at 400 mil. It's a prime lens. It is better. 100 400 is good. It's not as good as 400 4.5. My advice, if you can test them both, just have a look and consider for yourself. That's the thing. For some people, it's good enough. For some people, they will buy prime any day. So let's see. Says Leica has a definitive quality to the images and their lenses are beautiful. Yes, I was never really keen on a Leica look, Seth. I don't know what Leica look is, especially in digital. They tend to, yes, they fine-tune their sensors. Like I had to play with M10R, and definitely M10R was kind of, their reds were very interesting. So they do fine-tune the color science on their cameras. But it's with everything. I think color science is such a thing where you may want to buy a camera that just gives you that look, or you can shoot with any camera and then get the look you want, or even film look with digital cameras, they say. That's the thing. So I was never keen on a Leica camera. I think for me personally, it's a rangefinder. If everyone else would do a rangefinder, I probably wouldn't be shooting Leica. But there's only one company that knows how to do good rangefinders, and that's Leica. No one else. There's no competition. Yes, there's Pixie. Pixie is still a small company. Again, maybe some of you have Pixie cameras, maybe not. They just announced a 24 megapixel full frame rangefinder. I like what they do with their cameras. They definitely do very interesting things, and different from Leica. But again, it's a lot of money what they're asking for the camera, especially for the new company. So that's the thing. If the price difference would be bigger compared to Leica, then maybe a lot more people would get into Pixie system. That's the thing. But yeah, Leica look, I don't know. I think it's a myth. I definitely believe more in medium format or large format look over the Leica look, if you see what I mean. But yes, beautiful lenses. I absolutely agree with you. Beautifully made objects as well, and beautiful cameras. Michael Reese says, question, Nikon has produced 9 full-frame Z cameras and only 3 Z crop cameras. Have they any mention of Z500 replacement or D500? No, unfortunately not, Michael. Question comes up every week. We discuss it every week. we all agree that it would be nice for Nikon to release it. We all agree that ideally we want to have a sensor on APS-C camera, the vibration reduction, sorry. But there's no news, I'm afraid. That's the thing. M. McLean says 100-400 is amazing and sharp. You can use it for portraits, wildlife, sports, even with teleconverter has super close focusing. Indeed, and it's a good value for money. Again, 400 for 4.5 is a lot more expensive. He suggests if no Blinkies on live, you use the live histogram. Thank you, Kirill. All right. And says, please hit the like button. Yeah, there's a button there which is called like button. It's got a thumbs up on it. You know, just click, take your mouse, yeah, just press in there. If you're watching on the telly, just touch your telly with your finger. All it does is basically tells a lot of people to watch my stream. That's all it is. And maybe one day we're going to have millions of people watching. Who knows? But, you know, if you click that button, good things will happen. That's what I've heard. All right. Let's see. There's no buffering, John. I agree. But the buffering was offset by 20-minute delay with the live stream. So I'm going to stay with you. So it's 15:18. I'm going to stay with you till 3:38 for the next 20 minutes. And then at 3:45, I have an interview with a person who wants to work at Grace. So can't really be late for that one. Hopefully my Zoom does better than this thing over here. All right, let's see. Let's go further. In White is saying, just got to the latest copy of Nikon Owner magazine. Crack and read again. Best magazine I've ever read. Thank you, and we appreciate it. The whole editing team is appreciating it. I think, you know, they really enjoy what they're doing. They really enjoy the articles. They really enjoy interviewing people. If you haven't seen Nikon Owner magazines, you can subscribe. The links and the codes, discount codes, are in the description under this live stream. So you can do this, use the code, get a digital version, which you can basically get all the magazines for the last 20 years in PDF form. Or if you subscribe to a printed version, you can still have those digital versions, but you also will be sent a printed version. So that's that. And yeah, they enjoy what they're doing, which is very important. Colin Murphy says, the D600, you had it serviced for me and converted to 720mm infrared, and it's still going strong. That's fantastic. It's great to hear it. We haven't done anything on infrared photography. I think we should. I think, yeah, Michael Efriadis, we talked to him about this. So he is our infrared specialist. So we can definitely bring him back in for an interview. David Lewis says, angry photographer had a sense cleaning video back in the day. Hopefully he wasn't angry when he was cleaning it. Don't want to scratch that sensor. It's not a sensor. It's the front layer that protects it. Paul was asking, do you think Void Leather will come out with 24 and 28 mm 1.7 for Z mount? Good question. I don't know. That's the thing. Technically, if you look at Leica lineup, they have 28 1.5, I think, if I'm not mistaken. They have 35 1.5. So I would love to see those. I would like to see a mini 28 mm for those. But the thing about this is that they probably look at the sales and they see if they sell well, they release more lenses. If they don't sell well, then they won't release those lenses. So that's, I think, how it will work. But I don't think they will stop releasing lenses. That's for sure. Christopher says, my Viltrox AF35 1.8 steel, but the aperture is stuck at f16. Does not change when rotating the lens in auto on ZF. The camera says no lens attached. Can this be fixed? Get in touch with Viltrox. See if there's a firmware update or something like this. But with those, unfortunately, you have to deal with the manufacturer. Yeah, we don't have experience with those. We don't handle those lenses. That's the thing. But I assume there's a fix. Hopefully, it's just a firmware or something. Terry is asking, anyone going to Greenwich, London next Wednesday with the Nikon Owner London group? Whoever is Nikon London Owner group is in the chat. Definitely let us know in the comments below. So that's that. It's interesting discussion on Leica, actually. So it's interesting that the companies do those things, because Obviously, they're not for everyone, but they stick into them. It's I enjoy this. It's like Ricoh is sticking with their GR systems. Pentax is doing their K3 monochrome cameras and things like this. I think it's good when we don't just directly compete with each other, but there's some interesting products. Maybe they're niche products, but some interesting products that people can buy and enjoy. If you're looking at Nikon, the Ricoh GR as well, it's got quite a good following as well. Obviously, Fuji has its following with X100V as well, with 6 cameras. So there's definitely those products. Nikon ZF, I think, has its own following. That's the thing, and definitely has a much better uptake by the public compared to Nikon DF. And Nikon DF is still, I think, a kind of misunderstood camera and underappreciated camera. But compared to that, ZF, surprisingly, works much better. I do need to replace this light over here. It's failed again on me, second time. So, when they say, this is a remark to Seth when he was talking about good lights and expensive lights, but for the good brands, you pay 3-4 times the price, but then they don't fail on you 2-3 years down the road, so it seems like this light is going to be retired very soon. So it's time for me to probably buy another. I'll probably buy another cheap light. That's the thing. Our budget is tight on this one. All right, let's see more questions. David Louis asking, with so many mirrorless cameras, why are we still stuck with histograms instead of exposure maps? Oof, good question, David. I don't have the answer, but it's an interesting take. I agree. Let's see, but it's I don't know. It's strange. I think when the first digital cameras came out, once you kind of started to shoot RAW, your image is so good that even if you, let's say, one stop over or under, you generally can recover the data. That's the thing. And obviously with newer cameras, it's so much better. But I remember that kind of thought when I bought the 800E. And I took a shot, and it's just, dynamic range is just massive. It was massive on that thing. And I was like, well, do I need to care about the live view that much? I mean, unless I'm like 3-4 stops overexposed or something, it's not a big issue. And obviously, I know we all try to get things right in camera, but the flexibility of those files is so huge compared to film, which has fairly limited dynamic range. And once you start to shoot slides, you really have to nail the exposure. So for me, nailing the exposure wasn't such a big issue per se, because the light meter will get you very close to the point the way you want to be. That's the thing. So, but obviously, some of us perfectionists want to get those things in camera. I never bought it. That's my thought about it. And that's why we're a little bit more spoiled with digital photography. You can take as many shots as you want, throw away 99% of them. You can recover so much data for the shot you need. So overall, I think photography is so much easier nowadays than it used to be, that's for sure. The best is always hated, says M. McLean. I want to know what it's referring to. Definitely, it's quite a statement. Angry photographer Nikon hater. I never seen any angry photographer's video. Unfortunately, I don't know. I don't know who this person is. Let's see. But to be honest with you, I don't really watch the YouTubers. I only watch something like if I really interested in something like this. Rode just released a video roadcaster thing, and it just announced, comes out in November, £1,000, and I thought, maybe that will help me to improve this live stream and put some fancy graphics and stuff on it. And that's what I was looking at reviews for that. But overall, kind of, I don't watch every single photography video that comes out. It's just, I'm doing enough of it on a daily basis. I'm talking enough megapixels on daily basis that I think photography videos that I watch are based on photography as art, discussion of, let's say, photography books that came out, and just photographer styles. that style of videos I watch. I don't really watch tech videos. Maybe I should, but I genuinely don't. That's what it is. Watchman Neil says, I have an opportunity to purchase the Voigtlander 50mm f1 in New York next month. I already own 51.8. Do you think this is worth it? What are your highest rates lenses for Nikon Z? Watchman Neil, I'm the wrong person being asked about Voigtlander lenses, because you ask me, I'm very biased. I love Voigtlander lenses. I think 50 f1 is beautiful, beautiful lens. It is a big lens. It's a big chungus, but character is amazing. As long as you're happy with focusing it manually, you're going to be absolutely fine. They're very different lenses, 51.8 and 50 f1. So if you ask me, yes, any day. That's the thing. For me, 51.8 becomes boring after using 50 f1. That's what I can tell you. But 50 f1, it's a good standard lens. It does it all. It's very sharp, but they render very, very differently. So my advice, have a look at the sample shots, maybe on Flickr, maybe on some forums, taken by real photographers, not the production shots. So, and then see if you like the character, because character is not for everyone as well. So some people like character lenses, some people don't. And, when we say character lenses, they all may have different character lenses. So some character lenses may not be, like, let's say, up my street, So, like, there's some lenses that I think there's a TT Arson just released 75 1.5, which is a copy of Biotar, which is basically wide open, gives this Helios 442 effect. Like, for a lot of people, that would be too much character. That's the thing. Even for me, it's like I wouldn't buy this lens to use all the day. I would probably, like, all the time, I would probably buy it like to use for a specific thing. So because it's too much character for me. But 50 f1 has in my opinion, beautiful rendering. Anything from f1 to f2 is great. We have a review on that, so have a look at that as well. So there's some sample shots there taken by us, me and Becky. Okay. Kirill says, I agree about exposure con, but I know, we're all perfectionists, aren't we? That's the thing. It's like we all know that the cameras that we bought 5 years ago, they're still very good, and they still take very good shots, and they still should be good enough for another 5-10 years. But we have that itch. Yeah, the gas, so we want to buy the laser races. We try to justify the new gear, like, with whatever feature we need to justify it, to buy it. It's there's a meme somewhere on the internet where there's a excited face and it says buying my first camera, and then the second image, the same excited face, and says buying my 273rd camera. It's still exciting for us to buy a new product. That's the thing. It's the excitement doesn't fade away if it's your 5th camera or 10th camera. We always like the new shiny cameras or lenses. So that's good to know. My computer is about to die, so we have about 5 minutes before before my computer dies. So that's that. We might shut down in the next 5 minutes. Who knows? But I'm gonna try to answer as many questions as possible. Let's see. Paul Bosk says he loves his 50 f1 on his ZF. Beautiful lens. I agree. Rigetti is asking a question. He says Nikon Z7 or Z7 II or Z8 all have 45 megapixel sensor. Looking for an affordable mirrorless backup to GFX. Z8 is on the high end. What's your opinion? Z8 will give you much faster autofocus. So if you want to have a sports camera, which is basically you got GFX, and then your Z8 is going to do something else and will work as a backup. So that's where kind of Z8 will be stand up. So it's not just going to back up your GFX, but it's going to do something different that GFX can't compete with, which is speed. But if you just want to have a backup, let's say a landscape, then get a Z7. Autofocus is probably going to be on the same level as GFX. I don't know what GFX you have. If you got GFX 50S, then Z7 is going to be better. If you got GFX 100S, it's probably going to be on par. And Z7 is going to be just a little bit faster. If you got the latest two, I don't know what the autofocus are like on those, but it's supposed to improve from what I know. Okay. Andy is asking, could we have another photo submission, both for sports photography? Andy, again, the problem is me. I don't have enough time to do this. So like right after this, I'm going and interviewing 3 people who are applying for job at Grace, So this is literally is about 10% what I do at Grace, and I wish I would have enough time, but when it was 2 of us, it was a little bit easier because we could spread the load between us, but it's just tough. It's tough on me, unfortunately. Maybe if eventually we'll end up with a second person helping me, then maybe we'll come back to it. I'm not gonna say no, Andy, but hopefully at some point in this, like in the future, we'll try to do this. So it's on my kind of backlog, and maybe we'll come back to it, but it's duly noted, definitely. Yeah, Nigel agrees with Andy. So yes, again, Nigel, that's good. Michael Reese says, my guys go straight for Gray's second-hand section, and I know I'm buying. I know who I'm buying from, and it's best shop in town. Thank you very much. And he says, and it's recycling. Fantastic. Guys, I'm going to wrap up because the USB cable that was charging my computer is now plugged in the camera. My battery on my MacBook says I'm going to die. So I'm going to say thanks so much for joining me. Thank you so much for sticking me after 20 minutes delay. I appreciate you all. I appreciate just a good crowd we have. We have new people here joining us today, which is incredible. So our community grows. But in the meantime, if it's sunny, go take some shots. If it's raining, go take some shots indoors, maybe some macro, do some project, do some learning, read a nice photography book or something. But I'll see you next week. We're going to have another video out on Voigtlander 75mm lens. I'm going to see you next Friday. Who knows? Maybe there's going to be some news. Maybe we're going to have a specific topic. But I want to thank you all. I appreciate you all. And I'm going to say goodbye. All the best.